In this video, we're going to feature Addictive Drums 2 by XLN Audio, while comparing it to its predecessor, Addictive Drums 1. Now, by opening both windows, we can see how the product has evolved. Originally, we'd open up to our kit piece page. Here, Addictive Drums 2 opens up to what's called the gallery browser. We can browse through the different kits we have ready, either with the tile view here or the larger window view, and we can also preview and download kits directly from XLN Audio. It's a really great way to see what we have and what's available to us. Now, here in the Explorer page, we can start previewing these kits. Another thing I like here is how we can mix those kits right off the cuff using these pots right here at top of the kits itself. Take a listen. Another thing I love is how we can mix and match not only different rhythm presets, but their editing and effects presets as well. I can take one rhythm preset, but hear the effects processing from another on top of it. I'll show you what I mean. Let me select Cozy Power here and play it. And let me play the one right above it. So let's say I really love the rhythm preset Cozy Power, but wanted to hear the effects processing of the previous one on top of it. Well, I'll show you how to do that. Simply press play here in Cozy Power, but select Big OH and you'll hear the processing on top of that one. Take a listen. Again, it's a really great way to not only listen to your presets, but get further deeper into them. Speaking of presets, here we have our preset browser page. Now in Addictive Drums 1, we have our startup, okay? Now it's changed quite a bit. We now have our preset browser. These icons represent what our presets are, all of them, the XLN ones, and the ones corresponding to the kits that we have loaded here. Another thing I really love is how we can hear just acoustic presets by selecting the button like so. Electric presets. And acoustic. And percussion presets. So if I just want to hear electronic ones. And if I just want to hear percussion ones. Or if I want to see them all, just activate them all. Another thing I love here is the Sound Ideal option. By turning it on and off like this, I can slide the intensity slider and say, just show me presets that are pretty extreme. Or show me kits that are more natural sounding. Or anywhere in between. Really cool. And we can start here. This is a really good place to start. What we'll do now is let's pick some presets. And here we go. Let's take a listen to some of these. Now, if I like that rhythm preset, but again want to hear the effects preset processing from another, the way to do that is as follows. I can play that preset and then use these two buttons down here to adjust the processing. Take a listen. So I'm going to use SONAR Rock Rhythm preset, but the effects processing from Rock Buzz. And hit OK. And we're good to go. Again, really flexible, really powerful, and a really great evolution from Addictive Drums 1. So moving on to our kit page, now we can see the comparison between the original kit page and the new one. Originally, we've got 12 kit piece slots. In the new Addictive Drums 2, we've got 18. Plus, we have 3 flexible tracks here, Flexi 1, Flexi 2, and Flexi 3, as opposed to just one extra track here. Okay? Now what we can do is, let's take a look. The kit piece browser section really hasn't evolved too much, but we can see how it has changed a little bit. We can see that it presents the various drums a little bit differently. Here's Addictive Drums 1, here's Addictive Drums 2. Now, if you'd worked with this before, then you should already be pretty familiar with this. We have our corresponding kit pieces we can change with the up and down arrows, mute, solo. We can also load them with the option right below. We can play them, and we can adjust the level of those kits too. But what Addictive Drums 2 does is it gives us further options. Not only can we play the kits and choose different ones, but we can also link these hits to other corresponding hits. I'll show you what I mean. For example, we've got this link icon right here at the top right of the browser window. I can link this hit, for example, with the symbol 3. So when I hit my snare, I'll also hear this symbol. We can adjust the levels correspondingly like so. Pretty cool. I love this. This is really great for creative effects. For example, let's load something here in FlexiTrack 2. I'll select load and let's pick a sound. Nice. Now I loaded this here, and I'm going to trigger that with my kick drum by dragging the link icon from the kick onto that sine wave. And I'm going to link it to hit A. Now when I press my kick drum, I'll hear that sine wave. And when I play my snare, I'll hear this symbol. Now to unlink them, just simply select them and choose unlink hits, and you're back to square one. Another thing I love here is under load, we have something called stroke types. I can hear how that drum is played with this certain rhythm preset. Rim shots, open, a shallow rim shot, really flexible, really powerful. So let's move on now to our edit page and see how that has changed. Okay, so previously, you can see that in Addictive Drums 1, we can select our kit piece. We've got pitch and volume envelope filters here. Now in Addictive Drums 2, we can select our kit piece, but we've got further processing. I love what they've added here with the pitch attenuation. Take a listen. Okay, so we can still attenuate the pitch, but now we have a pitch envelope filter here. Or we can choose between that and what's called Tone Designer. Let's take a listen to some of these here while it's playing back. Now let's switch this to our pitch envelope, and let's take a listen to this while it plays back. And we can toggle between the two. And when you find the one you like, just leave it there. And we still have our frequency cutoff filters here. So we kept the best, but really built upon that, giving you more. Now in the master section, now we have 4-band graphic equalizer here. A 3-band equalizer here. So we went from a 3-band equalizer to a 4-band equalizer. But the processing, the pre and post processing before and after that equalizer has changed. We've got a compressor distortion now, where it was 2 separate. Here it's built into this one section, but we have tape saturation. So we can choose between compressor distortion or tape saturation prior to going into our EQ, and then the same here, or tape saturation and compressor distortion. So you can have 2 tape saturations, or 2 compressor distortions, one of each in any combination of both. I find that's really, really cool. Now we can also add a little bit of noise, and here's our cutoff filters. And really, we have just started touching upon these new features. Let's take a listen now. Cool. Now let's move on to our effects page, one of my favorite areas. Previously in Addictive Drums 1, we have 2 reverbs, really great stuff here. But in Addictive Drums 2, the program's evolved. We now have what's called a delay reverb, a delurb, both in Effects 2 and Effects 1. Now let me turn up my sends a little bit, and let me deactivate Effects 2, and I'll show you what I mean. We can slide this between a delay or being a reverb or anywhere in between. Let's take a listen. I'll set it to delay. Without. Really cool. Now let's activate Effects 2 and let's slide this one to reverb and let's take a listen to just it. Now we can adjust between the two. Let's play them both together. Really powerful. Again, fed into the EQ and then our outputs. But what I love here is in our mixer section, Addictive Drums 2 now gives us the ability to toggle on and off our effects here from the mixer and the output levels accordingly. Again, really cool stuff here. Take a listen. Love it. Now moving on to our beats page, we can see how it has grown. Previously here we've got our browser section in Addictive Drums 1. Well, we still have that here in Addictive Drums 2, but what we have is now called a grid search area. We can browse via presets, and we can look for presets that are very similar to what we can choose here. We can actually create hits here within this grid pattern search. And Addictive Drums 2 will do its best to search through all of its presets, because I have them all selected here, to find ones that match correspondingly. Take a listen. You can see how, as I adjust and create a new grid pattern, the list contours to give you drums that are closer to it. Let's take those out and you'll see how the list changes. Again, really handy, really creative, and really insightful. Here in the Beats Gallery section, we can create favorites, look at all of our beats, the XLN beats, the ones that we have purchased, and we can even demo ones and buy them. Amazing. Let's see, let's start with something here. Let's try this one. Great. Now in our short list, we can click and drag that here and create a list of our favorites. And our transform section is really powerful. Here, we can actually adjust how the kit is being played. Take a listen. And we have our accent in our randomization section. I have them active here just by toggling them on and off. Let's take a listen to that. I love this. Now below that following, we have our kit piece mix section. I can actually mix the volume of those kit pieces. I can mix them right here. Take a listen. We can adjust the speed. We're presented with this grid here to give us a visual of what that beat pattern looks like. Again, really powerful. You can see how the program has evolved from Addictive Drums 1 to Addictive Drums 2 here. Another feature that I really love is this wave output option. Down here in the bottom left corner of the program, we can actually create a beat and then select that wave and drag it onto our track and let it go. And Addictive Drums 2 will create a wave file corresponding to that pattern that we created. Let's take a listen to it. Let me solo that track now. And here we have a WAV file that we can further mix into our projects, export, create loops out of, etc. That's it. That's Addictive Drums 2 from XLN Audio right now. It's an amazing program. The evolution has really brought forth not only more options and rhythms, but more creative editing and processing potential as well. Best way to get started is to just dig right in and have fun. I'm Carlo Libertini. Thanks for watching.